Hi guys, welcome back to another episode from my FIFA 13 career with York City. We have the EuroLeague final to get done in this episode. We also have, I think we've got 3 games before then. And then we've got 1 game afterwards against Wolves. I'm probably going to get these 3 league games done in this episode along with the EuroLeague final, and in the final, then in the next episode I'll sim the last game, get the season done and dusted, see what happens, see if I've still got a job, and then decide from there if I carry on to next season. But for now, let's check the team out ahead of this game. The season's over and done really, apart from the EuroLeague final, so I want to rest players, and I want to give some players a chance just to get a bit of game time. So I am going to be playing a few kids really in these games. It's nothing more than I just don't want any injuries if I can help it, especially going into the final. So the game before the final could be a lot of kids, although that is against Spurs, who are top of the league, 4 games left, and they are 11 points off. They're 11 points in the lead, so Spurs, I believe, could win the league in this episode. We have a game away at West Brom, who have taken 1 point out of their last 3 games, so sod's law, they'll get a win here. No, a 1-0 Spurs win. Nana Welbeck with the goal. Sorry, not a Spurs win, a York win. Busy thinking about Spurs. Right. Player returns, don't need to worry about that. Let's advance. Playing Villa now, can't see where they are. Spurs champions.
So what comes next in the Barclays Premier
League? We have a game coming up against Villa, who are just outside.
So what comes next in the Barclays Premier League?
Jesus, I don't want to know about national teams. Right. Villa need a win in this game to try and get into a EuroLeague place. I'm going to stick with the same team. Seems to work out quite well, especially with the youngsters in there. Alonso at the back, Lemay and Hayams in midfield. We also have Godin on the bench as well. Hopefully he can get some game time. Benteke injured for Villa. 1-0 Villa win. Connor Wickham with the goal. Hayams injured. Okay, so this is why I didn't want to put any proper 5 months, any proper and full first team players in, because I am get worried about getting injuries. 68 to 90, keep an eye on you. 74, well, sign him up. We'll reject you. 53, yeah, you know what, I'll sign you up.
Wolverhampton Wanderers 0,
and we'll reject you.
So what do those results
keep our eye on you.
At the top of the table remain.
And who do you have for me?
With 85 points.
A left back. Okay. Grippo.
In third, Manchester City with 76.
Simeon. No.
In fourth, Manchester United.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep our eye on you. You're only 14.
With 59 points. In sixth, climbing the table, are Aston Villa.
Okay, and maybe I'll put my other keeper in for this game.
Southampton with 58 points.
We'll have to see.
In eighth, moving down, are Arsenal with 56.
But yeah, we don't have much time in between these 2 games. Game against Spurs on the Sunday, and then Wednesday against Inter in the EuroLeague final. Right, so we're now 9th. The lowest we can finish is 10th.
The league leaders, Tottenham Hotspur.
In fact, actually, no, it's not. It's now because Liverpool have played their game. They're in 10th on 37 games, 50 points. So the lowest we can finish is where we are at the moment, 9th. Squad. Right. Let's have a look. Yeah, Loan Cruz, you can go in there. Keep De Chilio in there. Keep Perez Alonso in there. We'll have Hira Maya in there as well. Rena Fuentes, drop you out for. You gone? Godin. There you are. Anna Welbeck, have you out there for Marcos. We'll go with Taylor. Lemaire, who's available? Yeah, we'll go with Marion Garcia and go with Canteros. Okay, the back's fairly solid. But Spurs, let's see what team they're putting out. Lloris, Fabinho, Vertonghen, Benata, Bale, Livermore. Okay, so they are going with a few young players. Mason in there is definitely one. We've got a fairly young bench on there. Clayton, Carroll, Dean Peratt, Danny Rose, Adam Smith. Okay, 1-1. No injuries, that's the main thing. Welbeck scored and McKeeve scored. Right, EuroLeague final coming up. This is the one. Yep, there's definitely one we need to win.
The EuroLeague.
International manager from Scotland. We'll stall that. It's an intriguing one. Right, squad. Let's check this out. We need a full strength squad in there. Fraser Forster in goal. Kyle Walker. Lazarevic. Zuma. D'Souza Silva. Rino Fuentes. Nana Welbeck. And Baker. Muriel. Yep. Taylor, drop you out for Son, wherever you are, Son. There you are. Right. Midfielders, who have I got strong midfielders? Miombe will have you there. Lucilio, you can come in for Shori because you can play either side. Perez Alonso, drop you out. Hirame and no. Okay, so that's all we've got. Strikers. De Guzman. No, that's it really. No, no one else really. So let's leave it. That's the team. It's good enough. There's enough on the bench. Should I need to make changes, and I will potentially look to make some changes just to freshen things up. But hopefully by that point we are a couple of goals ahead. There we go. Yep, Inter in white. Okay. Traore, Struman there. Obi and Bay. Willems on the bench. Okay, let's get this game done and dusted. Some interesting fixtures coming up in the Premier League tomorrow. Man City Hull is the first game, and I do really fear for Hull in that game. I do fear a Man City backlash. They've obviously suffered the defeat to Cardiff last weekend. You wonder how much they're going to want to just just how much, not revenge, but they're going to want to stamp their authority on not on that match, but on the fact that yes, it was a blip. They are going to come back. Oh, great ball through for Welbeck. Oh shit! You know. Yeah, you wonder how Man City are going to bounce back. You would assume they are going to bounce back. Lazarevic with a goal. Yeah, you assume Man City are going to bounce back against Hull. Interesting one. Man City, I think, will win that by 2-3 goals. There's definitely going to be some repercussions there. Cardiff, Everton. You look at that. Cardiff played well in their first game. Oh, sorry, not in the first game, but in their last game against Man City. Everton, 2 draws so far. Drew 0-0 at home with West Brom, and then in their last game, in their first game of the season, they drew 2-2 away at Norwich. I could potentially see another draw on the cards here. Obviously, there's a lot depends on what happens with Baines and Fellaini over the next few days. Shit, need to get caught. Don't want to get caught here.
And here come the supporting cast.
But yeah, I can definitely see that one being a draw. Newcastle, Fulham. Interesting one. Newcastle not scored a goal yet. Fulham in some parts looked good against Arsenal at the weekend. Darren Bent, I think he if he starts with Berbatov, that could be a pretty decent forward lineup for Fulham. They've got some class in midfield. Should they get things together, Fulham could be a top 10 team more often than not, especially if they can get things going. Obviously, Stecklenburg out injured is a huge loss for them. Newcastle Fulham, I think that'll be a draw. Norwich Southampton, interesting game. Southampton drew their last game at home with Sunderland. They went 1-0 down. Sunderland obviously made the most transfers so far this summer, so you wonder what's going to happen with them. Southampton, interesting. I can potentially see that one being a draw as well. West Ham Stoke. Yeah, Stoke rattled. Came back from 1-0, being down 1-0 at home to was it Palace? Yeah, Shamak with the goal in their last game. Yeah, that rattled the fans. This game, I think West Ham are going to have too much for them. I think it's going to be a West Ham win, but just by 1 goal. I can't see Stoke troubling the score. I think it'll be 1-0. I'll go 1-0 West Ham win. Basically because one of Stoke's goals was, I'd put that down to a Shamak error in the Palace game. He was poor. He shouldn't have been defending where he was defending at the end of the day. And the last game, the key game, as this is a game you'd look at Palace winning. They should, if they want to survive. This is a key game for Palace, although it's only going to be their 3rd game of the season. They're at home to Sunderland. If they put in a performance like they did against Spurs, where they only lost 1-0 and that was a penalty, they at times looked really good. Obviously unlucky I think they were unlucky to get beat by Stoke. It was sort of poor defensive play by Shamak, as I mentioned before. Palace Sunderland, I think that will be both teams to score, I think, and Palace. I think Palace will sneak it 2-1. It's a game that Ian Holloway will know they have to win. That is a home game they have to win. At least at the worst, get a draw, and then they cannot lose that game if they want to stay up. Can Palace? On a Sunday, you got Liverpool Man United, the first game. Interesting one that. Man United obviously coming off the 0-0 draw against Chelsea. Pretty boring game, that one, I have to say. As I've mentioned before in the previous York video. Liverpool 2-1-0 win, so they are starting to get the midfield together. Mingale at times though has looked a bit shaky. You think if it's going to be the same Man United starting 11 with Rooney and Van Persie both starting up front. At times in the Chelsea game they both did drop deep, and you did wonder what the hell was going on. I would have liked at least one of them. When one dropped back, one stayed up top. But there's times where they were both dropping back into midfield, and there was no one. When Man United broke, they were both a bit knackered and didn't get up in time, and Man United were left with no one really in the bench. Sorry, not in the bench, in the box. I could see that being a draw as well. I see a lot of draws in the Premier League this weekend. Right, West Brom, Swansea. Swansea, poor, both their games, not scored a goal, conceded 4. West Brom not really scoring that many, although with the Anelka situation, you don't know if he's going to be back or not. You don't know what's going on. Obviously he said he wants to retire. I could see that game being a I don't want to be negative and say draw. I said draw for far too many games, but okay, I'll say I can't see West Brom losing. There were at times Swansea looked like they could threaten Spurs' defence, but Spurs held solid. I think West Brom could do the same. I think there'll be. I think it's definitely a game where there's not going to be many goals. Sod's law, it'll now be a 3-3 draw. Now that I've said that, but that is an interesting one. Like I said, I can't see there being many goals. I don't want to be negative and go for a draw again. But I might. No, I think yeah, West Brom just to sneak it. And then the final game of the weekend is the North London derby. Obviously, Spurs will have played in the EuroLeague against Tbilisi. Obviously, won the first leg pretty comfortably. You wonder what sort of team they're going to put out against Tbilisi, knowing the fact that they have this game against Arsenal coming up. Obviously, I'm recording this before that game's taken place. I would assume that Spurs would rest Soldado and a few others. Maybe give Sandro the game. Obviously, he's coming back from injury, needs the game. I could potentially see Asuikotu starting at the back. Potentially giving Younes Kabul the game, give him some fitness. Tom Carroll could start in that game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see either Defoe or Adebayor start up front. In midfield, I could potentially see Sigurdsson playing. He came off the bench against Swansea after starting against Tbilisi. Other midfield players, if Lennon's back, obviously I believe he was out injured against Swansea. He wasn't even on the bench. Townsend, it's an interesting one. If Townsend isn't playing against Tbilisi, you can understand he's being saved for Arsenal. But if Townsend plays, you could potentially. I'd look at assuming that Lennon is then going to be fit to face Arsenal, as I do believe Spurs should exploit Lennon's pace and Arsenal's lack of pace in the defence. I think there is room to get past them. The other one obviously is depending on who comes in for Spurs as well. Obviously, the rumours that I've seen is Lamela is going to be signing the deal pretty soon. I don't know if that's going to. Hopefully, that doesn't fall through. He would be a great signing. Bale refused or didn't turn up for training. I believe that's what's been bandied around on Tuesday. I don't know how true that is. I've not seen much story on it. To be honest, I'm getting pretty bored with the whole Bale going, not going scenario. So I can see goals. Oh, time to make some substitutions in this game. Yeah, I can see goals in the Spurs game. I'm not too sure how many goals I could see. I can't see there being. You know, actually, yeah. Well, there's been a few, haven't there? There's been a couple of big scores. Definitely see there been over 2.5. Definitely see both teams scoring. Well, I suppose his defence has looked a bit better. Lloris has been outstanding. That one I am going to say draw. If we can come out of the Emirates with a draw, I would be very happy with that. Arsenal have looked good against Fulham, but obviously the pitch was playing a big part in that. You wonder who they're going to bring in. They do have money to spend. They're not going to spend it on anyone. So yeah, I'd like to take a draw in that one. Just right now, someone said you can have a draw and it have to be a 3-3 draw. I'd take it. Though we conceded 3, it's still a draw. And there we go. York City win the EuroLeague. Who'd have thought it? From basement in League 2 to winning the EuroLeague. Wow, what a journey. Unbelievable. Absolutely fantastic. There we go. Moino Fuentes, man of the match. Let's advance. Come on. Don't die on me now. There we go. Champion. Beautiful way. Beautiful. Lovely. Yeah, that would be a nice way to end the York City series with by winning the Euro League. Tournament prize money, how much have we got? 1.9 million. Holy crap. Yeah, it would be nice to win the Euro League and call it a day there. But we never know. Maybe back for next season. Who knows? You guys will have to let me know what you think, whether I should come back and do another season with York. Should I come back and just do a simulated season with York just to see what happens? See if I can get them in the Champions League, and that should be where I call it a day. But guys, this episode has come to an end. In the next episode, I'll do a squad builder for the end of the season. So not squad builder, a squad report for the end of the season, and then we will see what happens in terms of my job. I may be out of a job. Who knows? I haven't done what the board wanted. I'll quickly show you in the manager's office my manager objectives. Win the league title. I'm way off that. Domestic objective, win the cup, didn't do that. Win the Euro Cup, did that. So I've done one of my 3 objectives. Right guys, I shall call it a day there, and I'll be back with you in the next episode where we shall get this season over with. Thanks for watching. Cheers.